Hey guys, 10.2 is out. The new raid is coming out. Like I said, I wanted to make Assassination and Outlaw guides as fast as I can. So here they are. I'm going to be making Assassination first, and Outlaw will most likely be out tomorrow. So I'm going to be talking about gear, not gear. Gear, if we talk about gear, it took way too long. We're going to talk about stat priority, talents, and rotation. You know me, I don't like those 10, 20, 30-minute videos. So let's just make it as quick as possible. Stat priority, crit, mastery, haste, verse. So you're going to want as much as you can. It's most likely whatever you're going to have right now is what you're going to get when you're going into the raid. For rotational purposes, I'm taking off my trinkets because they're on uses and stuff like that. I just want you to see the rotation by itself. Talents, this is what you're going to be running. Main differences between 10.1 and 10.2 is we're taking Subterfuge, Night Stalker, and Shadow Dance. Before it was Acrobatic Strikes and Echoing Reprimand. We're not doing that anymore because we have ungodly huge amount of damage in our opener. So we want to make sure we're snapshotting all of that inside Night Stalker and Shadow Dance. As for the right side, nothing changes much up here until you get to Sanguine Blades. This is similar to Extenuate, where you double your bleed damage, except this one's a little weaker, and it's passive, and it only works when you're above 50% energy. This is why we're going to be pooling our energy more than we were in 10.1. This is not the biggest reason why, but it's a relevant reason why. So keep that in mind. Now, as you see down here, we get 3 capstones instead of 1 that we did before. We're still getting Dragon Tempered Blades, but now we're also getting Kingsbane, as well as this new one, Arterial Precision. This one looks like an AoE talent, but I mean, actually it is an AoE talent, except we were taking this in single target as well, because if you read the lower half, it says bleed damage done by affected targets is increased by 30%. So we are still getting that bonus in single target, making it a really strong talent, especially for our opener. Okay, now let's get into our rotation. I made an MRT note for the opener if you want to follow along. It is very long. I know talking might not get the message across, so if you want to follow along through this and you want to follow along when I'm doing the rotation through my ability tracker, there you go. I broke it down into 2 parts. There's pre-cooldown and during cooldown. While this whole thing is pretty much one thing, I'm breaking it down so it's easier to digest for players. Okay, so you're going to start off in stealth, right? This is pre-cooldown. You're going to Garrote, Slice and Dice, Ambush, Rupture, Mutilate, and Envenom. Ideally, this is how it's going to look every time, but as you know, we're a combo point class, so you could get unlucky with 2 or 3, but just know, rule of thumb, you want to use on 4 or more combo points for Envenom and Rupture and any spender besides Slice and Dice. Slice and Dice doesn't matter too much with that. But yeah, 4 or more combo points, okay? So it could look a little different. For example, you might get 2, so you need to mutilate 1 more time. So just keep that in mind. Now again, Garrote, Slice and Dice, Ambush, Rupture, Mutilate, Envenom. Now after you've pressed Envenom, we're going to go into our during cooldowns. So you're going to start with Deathmark, Shiv, Shadow Dance, Kingsbane, Garrote, Envenom, Ambush, Rupture, Shiv, Thistle, Mutilate, Envenom, Vanish, Garrote. Now, the reason why we are Thistle-Teeing and vanishing at those times is because we are trying to juice Kingsbane as much as possible. We want this to be absolutely blasting. It's like Gargoyle for Unholy DKs. And as you know, Thistle-Tee lasts 6 seconds. We are ideally pressing Kingsbane, or we're ideally pressing Thistle on the last 6 seconds of Kingsbane. The same thing applies with Vanish, except for the last 3 seconds. And the reasoning for that is because we have Master Assassin for Vanish. 30% critical strike chance after breaking stealth for 3 seconds. So, we really want those Kingsbane procs to hit and crit and do as much as they can. For potions and on-use trinkets that, they might not all be the same, but typically you're going to be using them when you hit Deathmark. That's when you want to do it. And after you finish your opener, this is where we start pooling our energy because of, like I said, Sanguine Blades, right? And our 4-piece. As you see, Envenom additionally empowers itself, causing explosion, dealing X amount of damage to all nearby enemies when you have Envenom already active. Now, this is really good in single target because if you read the ladder, the bottom half, Envenom will do 150% more increased damage if done to a singular enemy. And that's why we are pooling our energy and making sure, we're keeping Envenom up, but we're also not starving ourselves. So there you go. Now let's get into the rotation. Real, like I said, you need to follow along. It will be right here. Not going to speak too much because it is pretty fast. Just, watch and see what happens. And there you go. There's the opener, as you see, absolutely pumping. And now you just want to keep it up the Envenom, right? I don't need to use anything. I am going to reach max energy, so I will pop that. And Rupture's falling off, so I'll use that. And now we're just keeping up our buffs. And Venom's falling off, use it. Garrote is falling off, reapply. And Venom falling off, use that. And see, we're not pressing anything else. We're not shivving, we're not keeping on anything of those because our 1 minutes will line up perfectly, okay? You'll get 2 shivs, Kingsbane and Dance all back up at the same time, and you will do the exact same rotation in the opener, just without Deathmark and Vanish. It'll be the exact same thing. Okay, so here we go. Shiv, Dance, Kingsbane, Garrote, Envenom, Ambush, Rupture, Shiv, Thistle Tea. And now we're just doing it again, right? Just doing it again. Same thing. That's all we're doing. See, it's not that bad. I promise you. It's really easy to get the hang of. It is a little difficult during prog since we won't be having Arco, but if the timings line up literally perfectly, like the 1 minute to 2 minute, it will function very well. And since we're pooling, you won't be starved as much, and et cetera, et cetera. So there you have it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I usually answer all of them. And yeah, just make sure you follow this ERT note and you should be good.